Let's just say I'm Frankenstein's monster.
When I say Magneto, you say
Perfection.
he's the kind of villain who makes you root for him even harder than the hero. Magneto's established himself as everyone's favorite bad guy mutant.
I've been at the mercy of men just following orders. Never again.
And his legacy has been very well preserved by both Michael Fassbender and Sir Ian McKellen.
Let's point those claws of yours in a safer direction.
I guess Daddy and Granddaddy do work well together, eh? Apart from his awesome powers, the OG X-Men villain also likes to flex his sass. And can you even blame him? Anyway, I'm about savage villains, so here's my top 10 Magneto flexes in the movies.
You must be Wolverine. That remarkable medal doesn't run through your entire body, does it?
Everyone loves Wolverine, and everyone loves Magneto, so the only way to decide the winner between them is an actual battle. Unfortunately though, for all the Logan fans, their favourite anti-hero doesn't stand a chance against ERIK because of his adamantium skeleton. The creators wasted no time in showing us his power imbalance when they meet up for the first time in the OG X-Men film. Wolverine is instantly lifted up, after which Magneto says,
That remarkable medal doesn't run through your entire body, does it?
Logan ain't giving in to the insult, so he demands to know what he wants with him. But oh boy, he gets totally violated when ERIK says,
You? What the boy? Whoever said I wanted you?
That's when Hugh Jackman realizes he isn't a franchise cash cow just yet and is thrown away like Woody from Toy Story 2. Who would have thought the King of Sass could be humbled in just a matter of seconds?
I'm not leaving here without her.
Yes, you are. Whoever goes into the dam needs to be able to operate the spillway mechanism. What do you intend to do? Scratch it with your claws?
Bruh, poor Logan just can't catch a break now, can he? As the X-Men try to figure a way to infiltrate Stryker's lab, Wolverine says he'll volunteer to infiltrate the dam. However, Magneto calls him out by saying,
What do you intend to do? Scratch it with your claws?
I mean, that's bad enough as it is, but we all know that Logan isn't just going to stand there and take the heat, so he says,
I'll take my chances.
Sadly for him though, Magneto immediately counters by saying,
But I won't.
now, that's gotta sting, even for a hunky Australian like Hugh Jackman. Look, Magneto might have been extra sassy here, but he does make sense. After all, he proves his genius intellect by making Mystique get into the base disguised as Wolverine. See, now this is why the old man managed to build up such a fan following. He doesn't do stupid stuff like the writers of a certain show, Rings of Power.
We love what you've done with your hair.
Hey, let's go.
Kinky. By the way, if I look like you, I wouldn't change a thing.
Michael Fassbender makes his first entry here, but he seems to share the same personality with Sir Ian McKellen because the dude sure loves to spoil the party. A younger version of Mystique tries to get her freak on with the Beast, who wants to turn his feet back to human size. But before he can awaken his own little beast, Magneto blocks his hopes with a dramatic entry. Of course, he can't really keep his mouth shut, so he comments on the kinky nature of their relationship, after which he says,
If I look like you, I wouldn't change a thing.
sure, we all know that true beauty lies on the inside, but come on, bro. Did you really have to force Beast to follow No Nut November? Especially when he was about to become king of the jungle? To top it off, Mystique actually switches to his side later on. I guess ERIK really is Mr. Steal Your Girl.
I prefer the real Raven. I said the real Raven. Perfection.
Henrik, proszę cię.
My name isn't Henrik. My name is Magneto.
This one's more of a serious entry because it comes right after Magneto loses his wife and daughter to a tragic misunderstanding with those idiot officers. ERIK goes back to his workplace and confronts his colleagues for spilling the beans on his identity. Look, Magneto is no Deadpool, so this speech ain't about the jokes. Instead, he tells all the men to remember the ones they love the most. Now, that seems kinda nice at first, but then the vengeful father and husband says,
Now that person will know what it is to lose someone they love.
that line sent chills down my spine. But apparently one of the dudes doesn't understand English, so he asks him to clear up the confusion. That's when ERIK makes an epic introduction and declares that
My name isn't Henrik. My name is Magneto.
this scene could have easily made my top 5, but the ending is kinda anticlimactic with Apocalypse showing up and stealing his thunder. Come on, bro, let the man kill.
And I ask only one thing in return. Don't get in my way. We are the future, Charles, not them. They no longer matter.
Isn't it nice to see two old buddies hang out after an extended separation? Sadly, that doesn't apply to Professor X and Magneto, because their little chat is filled with conflict. Charles tries to sneak his mind into ERIK, but he knows his bald buddy much better than that, so the tables turn once again. Charles tries to reason with him by saying,
"Mankind has evolved since then."
but ERIK just says,
"Yes, into us."
If that wasn't savage enough, he leaves his old friend with a warning not to get in his way, and then takes off. The granddaddy has enough time to pull out another one-liner by saying,
"We are the future, Charles, not them."
that sounded so elitist, it reminded me of a certain someone's speech. But anyway, it was a pretty slick statement, especially when you're making an exit.
I don't think I can stop them all.
Still unwilling to make sacrifices. That's what makes you weak.
They're just following orders.
I've been at the mercy of men just following orders. Never again.
While Ian McKellen brought a load of sass to his character, Michael Fassbender was more focused on the tragic nature of Magneto's origin story. Nothing sums it up better than the moment where he gives into the dark side. This is from X-Men First Class, where the army ships fire their missiles at the mutant team. Magneto points at the enemy as he holds off the firepower, and then he tells his fellow X-Men,
I've been at the mercy of men just following orders. Never again.
damn, the dude sure knows how to sound impactful, and he doubles down on his declaration by firing the missiles right back at the army. I get it, bro. You don't want to bend the knee, and that's fine. You don't have to be so excessive in your response. That's exactly what Daenerys would have done.
ERIK, that's enough.
She won't be shifting into diamond form again. If she does, just give her a gentle tap.
When will these people learn how to fly?
Magneto doesn't hold himself back, even with the ladies. You all know that I'm a huge fan of the Cyclone sequence in X2 where Storm unleashes her tornadoes upon the enemy planes attacking the X-Jet. She gets an assist from her fellow pilot Jean Grey, who unleashes the Phoenix to help with the firepower. Unfortunately though, this isn't enough, and the X-Jet takes some heavy damage, after which it's about to crash. That's when our very own Magneto comes to the rescue and holds the jet with his powers. Obviously, he's not just going to stand there, so he says,
When will these people learn how to fly?
I mean, that was definitely a dad joke, but at least Mystique gave him a little giggle, right?
And you. Let's point those claws of yours in a safer direction.
ERIK, I believe.
I prefer Magneto.
Names are really important, aren't they? Just ask Elon Musk's son. I mean, I still can't get that weird equation right. Another person who's very particular about names is Magneto, who makes it well known to Emma Frost after he breaks her out of a maximum security facility. This is after Eric's already gone Darth Vader mode and changed his whole outfit. He takes his new mutant team to break out the Crystal Blonde, and he makes a rather commanding appearance. Frost eventually gives him her stamp of approval and confirms if his name is actually ERIK. Of course, that's the cue for the legendary villain to say,
I prefer Magneto.
the camera work and soundtrack really helped sell this scene, and I gotta say, that's the main reason it made my top 3. Also, I gotta shout out the costume department for making such a shiny Magneto costume. He does look like an actual villain in it.
You want society to accept you, but you can't even accept yourself. Let's just say I'm Frankenstein's monster.
Michael Fassbender is really eating up the entries here, but then again, he rightfully deserves it. After sharing a nice cold beer with some not so nice patrons, ERIK decides to remind them about the horrors of the war they so gleefully took part in. As expected, the drunkards don't like that kind of trash talk, so they try to attack the German hunk, but he simply stabs one of them in the hand and controls another to shoot the third with his metal gun. I mean, this actually counts as a power demonstration scene too, because ERIK shows off his knife skills whilst following social distancing protocol. However, the killer moment arrives when the war veteran asks ERIK who he is, and he switches to English for the first time in the scene to say,
Let's just say I'm Frankenstein's monster.
not only is that an homage to Universal's iconic monster universe, this line establishes Magneto as the big baddie he turns out to be throughout the entire X-Men franchise.
I'm looking for my creator.
It's a dorky looking helmet.
This dorky looking helmet is the only thing that's going to protect me from the real bad guys.
If you want to make an introduction to Magneto, you better be prepared for some lofty lessons. Just ask Pyro, who decides to ask ERIK why he's wearing such a dorky helmet. Now, this doesn't really offend Sir Ian, so he asks the Fireboy what he's capable of. You can see the dominance seeping through as Pyro isn't even confident in his own powers as he states them, but Magneto motivates him by saying,
You are a god among insects. Never let anyone tell you different.
I mean, that's such an epic line, so I have no complaints about it, but Pyro kinda let that comment get to his head. That's what makes his loss to Iceman even more humiliating. Maybe Drake could come up with a savage verse about his downfall.
Mr. Lorio, never trust a beautiful woman, especially one who's interested in you.
And there you have it. What did you think of this list? Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and head over to the description for access to my socials. Alright then, I'll see you next time on the TV Regent.